So hello, this is TEW 9. I'm your host, Connell TEW, and welcome to episode, 0 of the TEW 9 challenge run. I'm gonna get my goals up right now because I'm not even prepared for this. I've literally just decided right now I'm gonna record it because I've got time. We're gonna introduce the new game and show you around the new game, and let's have our mid-season recap. We're coming off of Money in the Bank. Okay, it says Wednesday, week 1 of January 2025. That's not where we are. We are in week 1 of July 2024, but I'm using the beta, so the beta can only have mods start in January because you can only play from January till March in the beta. So I've had to skip forward. This is just me testing out the thing. I've been doing some work on the what's it called? The admin end, trying to get things set up. You can see this is the game. We've skipped forward months. We've got our titles, which have reigns in for as if they never ended until next January. But again, we are in July, week 1, 2024, and we're coming off Money in the Bank. This is our mid-season point here. And I guess it's time to, just get acclimated with the new game. I haven't done, again, because the whole thing isn't set up yet. I haven't set up all my booking team and shit. I haven't set up my inner circle yet either. Because again, for the 5th time already in the last minute and a half, this isn't the final database. This is the beta, and just me opening up a little trial run. What I have done is we have our title lineages in here. Some of them are going to not be exact because, there's some extra dates on the real world calendar compared to the TEW calendar. But as best as I can, I've matched them up so that they are sort of realistic with the real life days. And then you've got title records, It says Florence was the longest reigning champion, but it's not because we're not actually in January. And we're just coming off of Money in the Bank. And now let's take a look at our roster. Now, for those of you who obviously might be new, because this is the first episode of TEW 9, I don't expect you to go and watch 500 odd episodes of TEW 2020. You can if you want, or if you wanted to just go back and watch episode 500 and then from there on you could, or you could just start here. We have our roster. We have Raw, SmackDown, ECW. ECW right now is run by Vince Russo and is having its NXT 2.0 arc, hence the background you saw when I went for the roster. That one. But we have our champions. Let's go for our champions. On ECW, we have the ECW Women's Champion, who is Florence, aka Jamie Hayter. So ECW relaunched in the summer of last year. Julia was the inaugural champion. She beat Liv Morgan for the title at SummerSlam last year in the Tokyo Dome. She held it all the way to WrestleMania 40. Florence won the Women's Money in the Bank last year, and then she failed her cash-in November, and then won the Royal Rumble, used her Royal Rumble victory to face Julia at WrestleMania, and then won the title. So that's our second ECW Women's Champion. The ECW World Champion is Jey Uso. He beat Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso in a triple threat match at WrestleMania. The Bloodline arc was a couple of months delayed. Roman won the title from Warden, who is Wardlow, at the December ECW pay-per-view. And then, the Uso split happened. We had the Bloodline Civil War at the Royal Rumble. The Usos won that, Jey pinning Roman. We then had the Jey and Roman singles match at Elimination Chamber. The same Jimmy Uso finished there, and then at WrestleMania we had a triple threat. Jey Uso became the champion, and he's been in a beef with Vince Russo and his running of the show right now. World Tag Team Champions are Joman. They won the titles at Clash at the Castle in Scotland, defeating the former champions Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander, and then Damon Kemp and Ronnie Hughes of the Hurt Business. Ronnie Hughes being a regen former NFL player that the game gave to me. And Joe Hendry and Braun Strowman, Joman, the tag team champions. The World Television Champion is Solo Sikoa. So when ECW was revived, Matt Cardona brought the title back. We used the victory he got over Rhino on the Indies, where he claimed to win the belt, as canon. he brought the belt back. You know, he reigned with it until September, whenever it was. Oh no, October. Then Braun Strowman took it. Then ZSJ won it. Kyle O'Reilly, the God, won it at WrestleMania. And now Solo Sikoa, who's sort of in the middle of a whole Vince Russo thing. We'll get into that when I go through the roster and like stories more in detail. Money in the Bank, we just ran. Chad Gable won the men's. He's coming off a big win over CM Punk. He broke CM Punk's ankle back at Clash at the Castle. Qualified for Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank was only people who have never been world champion could win the title. He won it, and then he hasn't cashed it in yet. Kit Wilson and Elton Prince, Pretty Deadly, were victorious in the first ever tag team Money in the Bank ladder match. And then on the women's side, Utami Hayashishita of Queendom won the women's briefcase. Our World Heavyweight Champion is Swerve Scott. He's been champion since Elimination Chamber. He defeated LA Knight for it, because The Rock came back and screwed LA Knight, setting up a People's Champion versus People's Champion match at WrestleMania. Swerve has just been on another level as the champion. He's been scoring like fucking 96s and stuff. And yeah, he's been winning clean. He's a heel, but he's been winning clean because he's just that good. World Tag Team Champions are currently Logan Paul and KSI, which is interesting because I've now set them to be C-list celebrities. So Logan Paul is going to cost a whole lot more, so is KSI. I don't know if C-list is too high or low for them. I did ask, I was like, what would you guys put Logan and KSI as? Like, what list? And the answer I got was C. So, yeah. But yeah, they won the titles back in February at the Elimination Chamber. I did go through the entire title lineage. So the World Heavyweight Championship was brought back in 2021. The Universal Champion and the WWE Champion were both drafted over to SmackDown. They unified to just form the WWE Championship. So Raw instead brought back the big gold belt, which moved over to SmackDown in 2023, I believe. Yeah. So Keith Lee was the inaugural champion of the new lineage. He lost it to Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam at Wembley, who lost it to Oney Lorcan. Yeah, you heard that right. Oney Lorcan was Mr. Money in the Bank. I had a challenge to make him world champion. He won it, but the game hated him, so he only held it for like 4 weeks before Finn Balor took it off him. Finn held it to WrestleMania 38, where Big E, who was the Royal Rumble winner, became the World Heavyweight Champion in a triple threat match that also featured Cesaro. He held it till Unforgiven, where Sheamus beat him in a fatal 4-way, I believe. He took it to Clash at the Castle like 3 weeks later, dropped it to Drew McIntyre in Cardiff, and then Drew took it to the Royal Rumble, where Gunther won it. He held it through WrestleMania. WrestleMania match was a fatal 4-way between Gunther, Ilya Dragunov, Pete Dunne, and Tyler Bate, who in this save is known as Dudley Davis. They are all members of a William Regal faction, so they had a fatal 4-way World Championship match. Gunther retained. And then Pete Dunne, he was drafted to SmackDown, and then Gunther and the WWE Champion Cody Rhodes are both on Raw. So Pete won. He took the World Heavyweight title over to SmackDown, but then Carmelo Hayes immediately cashed in Money in the Bank, won the championship. He took it to SummerSlam, where Montez Ford cashed in during a match between Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight, winning him the championship. LA Knight then won it at Survivor Series last year, and then Swerve is now the champion. For the World Tag Team or Raw Tag Team Champions, the save started with Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins as the champions back in 2020. They dropped it to the team of Brendan Vink and Shane Thorne, who were known as Aussie Might, who dropped it back to Shelton Benjamin and Apollo Crews, who were VIP Nation, who would later become the Hurt Business. Then Aussie Might got another reign. The New Day got a reign. Santos Escobar and Isaiah Swerve Scott were part of the Vega Mafia back then. Swerve has come on a long way since then. Santos is still sort of the same level. But yeah, they got a nice little run. Then the New Day won it back in a 6-man tag. It was Woods, Kofi, and Big E against Santos, Andrade, and Swerve at Mania. It was either New Day become 10-time champions or they break up. New Day won. Big E went over to SmackDown. And then Kofi and Woods stayed on Raw. Edge and Christian got a run. Then the Undisputed Era beat them for it. Ricochet and Bronson Reed, a team known as the Cyclone, picked up the belts. They are one of my two better created tag teams. You'll find the other one up here in a minute. Then you had the Alpha Academy winning it, which was Chad Gable, Otis, and sometimes Coates Thatcher subbed in. They were freebirding the belts. The Fiend and Willow, obviously Jeff Hardy, Willow, won the belts in a gauntlet at WrestleMania after a long rivalry between Bray Wyatt and Jeff, which led to a Firefly Funhouse match. Then Rated RKO reunited. They were members of the Grand Jury, who were this series' version of the Judgment Day. They were heels. They won them there. Who dropped them to Path of the Dragon, who are the aforementioned other tag team. They're the greatest tag team in this save. Tozawa and Humberto Carrillo. I shoved them together back in 2020 as a jobber babyface tag team, and they just became so good that I ended up belting them. And then Zergus the Mighty is Luchasaurus. He's their big dragon friend. He had to sub in during the reign because Tozawa came down with a brain tumor. Zergus has currently sold his soul to Logan Paul. He betrayed Humberto Carrillo. He sold his soul to Logan Paul. He's now the Prime Saurus. And, Humberto is currently beefing with Logan and the Prime Saurus while Tozawa still recovers from a brain tumor. Then AJ Styles and Finn Balor won the belts after 285 days. And then Imperium won them. Then Slim Shanky and R-Truth of Titus World Records got a nice underdog Christmas victory to win them the World Tag Team Championships. And then finally, Team Prime have them now. The WWE title is Cody Rhodes. A lot shorter lineage here. We started with Drew McIntyre as the champion. He lost it to Buddy Murphy via a Money in the Bank cash-in. Austin Theory initially won the briefcase, and then Murphy won it off him, cashed it in to win the belt. Then Otis won it for a week. Again, because I had a challenge to make him world champion. He had a 1-week title run. Seth Rollins beat him for it. This was when the Church of Rollins were running Raw. Seth was a big monster heel with a faction. It was Buddy Murphy, Johnny Gargano, Damian Priest, Candice LeRae, Ruby Riott, and AOP. And then Seth took it to the December pay-per-view where Randy Orton won it. He lost it to Karrion Kross in a match to unify the WWE and Universal Championships. The Universal title lineage started on Braun. Daniel Bryan won it at SummerSlam 2020. Then Baron Corbin won it off him. Mustafa Ali won it off Corbin. Karrion Kross then won it on his debut match against Ali at the Royal Rumble. And then carried it through to Judgment Day there, where he unified the WWE title with it. And then Samoa Joe beat Cross for it. Sami Zayn won King of the Ring. He won the WWE Championship at SummerSlam in 2021, which was at Wembley. Which was the same night where Roman Reigns betrayed Seth Rollins to become the Tribal Chief, and what is the greatest story in the history of this save. I'll probably make a whole video on that at some point in the future. Roman Reigns captured the belt at No Mercy, held it for over a year, where Seth Rollins... I can't do this justice, this run of title reigns here, but yeah, Seth was the one who ended the year-long title reign of Roman Reigns after, being driven insane by his desire to get back at Roman for betraying him. Because the SummerSlam 2021 main event was Roman and Seth against the Usos. Roman betrayed him, turned heel, became the Tribal Chief, aligned with his cousins, all that. Then at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes finishes the story in a triple threat match, Cody, Seth, and Roman. Again, Cody won King of the Ring in 2022, wrestled Roman Reigns in the main event at SummerSlam for the championship. Seth Rollins cost him the match because, he wanted to be the one to take the belt off Roman, not Cody. And then Cody eventually, won the Royal Rumble. We got a triple threat match between the three. Cody finished the story at WrestleMania 39. Drew McIntyre then cheated to beat him at SummerSlam last year, held it all the way through to the start of 2024, where Cody Rhodes became a 2-time WWE champion. Cruiserweight Championship reign. This is all NXT stuff here. That's not really that canon. We started with Rey Mysterio we did a big Cruiserweight World Cup. It was actually set up like a World Cup. We had 32 Cruiserweights, groups of 4, and all that. And then the final was at SummerSlam. I think it was Ricochet against Rey. And then Rey Mysterio won it. He was the inaugural champion of this lineage. Wes Lee beat him for it. Then Dominic Mysterio beat Wes Lee for it. Took it to WrestleMania. Dropped it to his dad in a mask versus... It might have been career versus title. It was either mask or career versus title. And then Rey beat him. He lost it to Scripps, of all people. And then Scripps dropped it to Young Sensei. This was part of a big My Wrestling Academia anime arc. And then, yeah, Young Sensei, who was the hero of My Wrestling Academia, the sensei, you could say, slowly got corrupted by the belt, became a mad villain, and then Axiom was the new hero who subbed in to save the day, and he's been defending it like an actual Cruiserweight Championship ever since. The Cruiserweight Trio's titles are titles that exist. Only Lorcan and Drew Gulak and Timothy Thatcher were the first champions. They won them at the December pay-per-view in 2022, carrying them through to the first week of February 2023, where Pistolero, who is Bandido, Gran Metalik, Lince Dorado of Death from Above, won them, held them for 259 days. Then Rouge, Jorge Santana, who is Mike Santana, and Santos Escobar of LA Extreme, who are basically my version of LAX. It's them three, Dominic Mysterio and Conan, and it was Stephanie Vaquer, but she recently left. And now the new champions are Dante Rios, who is Daniel Garcia, Oni Lorcan, and Jonathan Gresham, who are part of the Dragons Dojo, which, as you may be able to guess, is a Daniel Bryan stable. Intercontinental champion, quite newly crowned, is Jay White. We started off the save with Sami Zayn as the champion. He dropped it to Cesaro. We were doing that whole artist collective thing. Cesaro was the first to break away. He won the belt from Sami, and then Sami eventually turned face against Nakamura a couple of months later. Johnny Gargano of the Church of Rollins won the belt. He dropped it to Otis. Otis carried it for a bit. Gargano won it back. Damian Priest then took it off Gargano at WrestleMania 37. Then the Miz won it off him. Priest won it back. Miz won it back. They did a little bit of hot potato in the summer of 2021. Kofi Kingston won it at SummerSlam at Wembley. Dropped it to Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze was going through a bit of an insane arc. He's currently deranged because he took out Xavier Woods and ruined his chance to win King of the Ring. And he was for months trying to work out who did it, and it was of course him. Yeah, and now he was then revealed to be the illegitimate son of Shane McMahon. So in law, he's Shane McMahon's illegitimate son. He beat Shane at WrestleMania 38. Xavier Woods, of course, defeated Tyler Breeze to get the belt. Carried it to Mania, where Cameron Grimes won a Razor Ramon Memorial Ladder match to win the belt. Angel Garza then got an IC title run in the middle there. Mustafa Ali won it. John Morrison got another run. Angelo Dawkins, of course, the Street Profits have broken up because Montez Ford was a World Heavyweight Champion. Dawkins got an IC title run from December to WrestleMania 39 when Chad Gable won it. He defended against Sheamus for a little bit, and then they had one final match in London at Money in the Bank. Sheamus finally captured the IC title. Held onto it for a bit. Dijak took it off him at Survivor Series. Dijak is Christian's right hand of justice. He's effectively my version of what Luchasaurus is for Christian in real life in AEW. Dijak took it all the way to WrestleMania, where Dominic Mysterio won the third Razor Ramon Memorial Ladder match. He only held it for 2 days on the Raw to WrestleMania because I got a goal. I failed a goal even, and I had to take a punishment. That punishment was immediately flip a belt. I spun the wheel. It was the IC title. So Humberto Carrillo, he'd been off TV for a bit, and then he came back as a single star without Tozawa because Tozawa's still out, and he won the IC title. And now Jay White has just won it. There was a triple threat match, him, Trick Williams, and Humberto. Winner got in Money in the Bank and won the IC title. Jay White was the winner of that. Matt Cardona's just brought back the Internet title. He's defended it once against Maven on TV. Yeah, it's like the FTW title. It's not a sanctioned belt, but he still defends it. The WWE Tag Team Champions, Daniel Bryan and Pete Dunne. They won them from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. And then they beat Cesaro and Daniel Bryan for them, who beat the Cyclone, DIY, the House of Black, the Street Profits, AJ Styles and Omos, Buddy Murphy and Damian Priest. Sort of won them by accident because I think one of the Usos got in. Yeah, it was Jay got injured. And then the game called an audible and made Buddy and Priest win them. And then one of them got injured, so they had to vacate the belts. The tag titles were cursed at this point, the SmackDown tag titles. The Usos won them from the Mysterios, who won them at WrestleMania from the Usos in a fatal 4-way, who beat the Dirty Dogs for them, who also beat the Usos. Death from Above, Grand Metalik and Lindsay Adam, the New Day, and then John Morrison and The Miz were the starting champions. The US champion is currently Neville. The safe side with Andrade as the champion. Kevin Owens beat him for it, early on in the save. Bobby Lashley then won it. Apollo Crews, Chad Gable, Shinsuke Nakamura, Mustafa Ali, Drew Gulak, Dolph Ziggler, Bobby Roode, Braun Breaker came up. He won it right away. Held on for a while. Crypto Corbin, who was Baron Corbin doing a crypto gimmick, as you may be able to guess, won it in a Battle Royal, I believe. Then Warden destroyed him for it. He moved over to SmackDown. He was the best IC champion of all time in the save so far. Swerve won it. He carried it all the way through to Money in the Bank in London, where Pete Dunne beat him. Solo Sikoa then took it from Pete Dunne, who dropped it on SmackDown to Bandido Pistolero, thanks to some Uso shenanigans. He carried it to WrestleMania, was going to face the winner of a tournament, That tournament saw Neville/Pac make his WWE return. He won the tournament, beat Pistola at WrestleMania, and has held it ever since. He recently coming off a win over Sami Zayn in Montreal. The WWE Women's Champion is Bayley. She won a Horsewomen Fatal 4-Way in the main event of WrestleMania 40 to win that belt. Becky was the champion going in, who beat Rhea Ripley in a title versus career match at the Royal Rumble. Rhea had won it from Sasha Banks back in September. Sasha won it from Charlotte. Charlotte won it via Money in the Bank cash-in at New Year's Revolution 2023, coming off a rivalry between Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair for the belt. Asuka got a proxy title run because Rhea was the champion. Rhea had won it at WrestleMania 38 in the Night 1 main event from Becky. And then Sonya Deville won it by accident because the game called an audible once Rhea got injured. And then I took the belt off Sonya the night after, put it on Asuka, because Asuka versus Bianca was the better match for SummerSlam. Bianca then won the belt at SummerSlam, then we were back on course where we were. Becky Lynch had a run. Io Shirai won it in late December 2020. Liv Morgan won it SummerSlam 2020. Shayna Baszler won it after Becky vacated it because she was pregnant at the start of the save. Women's Liberty Championship is our women's mid-card title. It floats between all three brands. Shotzi Blackheart was our inaugural champion. She won it in a 6-woman ladder match at SummerSlam in 2022. Cora Jade, who was in Damage Control at the time, won it in November 2022. Took it to WrestleMania 39, dropped it to Roxy Perez, who lost it to AJ Lee, who'd betrayed Roxy at some point for a title match. And then that was all to set up, putting Roxy over at SummerSlam. And then Jade Cargill won the Mae Young Classic last year, which earned her a shot at the belt. She got it at Survivor Series. She won the belt, carried it all the way through to WrestleMania, where we had our first defeat. It was a shocking squash defeat. Jade was distracted by Tatum Paxley, who was aligning with Rhea Ripley. And then Rhea made quick work of Jade. We haven't seen Jade since. But Rhea is now on a dominant run as the champion. There's a new rule in place where if you get 10 defenses with the belt, you can vacate it for a shot at one of the world titles. The women's tag titles are currently held by Piper Niven and Tegan Nox in their second reign. This is part of Queendom law, which we'll get into later. The save started with Alexa and Nikki Cross as the champions, coming out of WrestleMania 36. I quickly switched them back over to the Kabuki Warriors, and then Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez won them. Trish and Lita had a run. Io and Kyrie had a run. Ruby Riott and Candice LeRae, who were in the Church of Rollins. And then at WrestleMania 37, AJ Lee and Paige won them. Kaylee Ray and Nikki Cross beat them. Then Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. Io and Kyrie got another run. Charlotte Flair and Lady Jordan, who was Danny Jordan. She was Charlotte's apprentice for a while. Cora Jade and Bayley were a babyface duo at that point. They got a quick 5-day run before Charlotte and Jordan won them back. Mackie and Tam of J-Flow then won them. Then Dakota Kai and Bayley of Damage Control picked up the belts there. Carried them all the way through to January, where Hikaru Shida and Liv Morgan won them. Defended at Mania, carried them throughout until May, when Tatum Paxley and Ivy Nile won them. And then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross as spooky women captured them there. They were, possessed by the evil pendant in the anime story. Then our anime heroes, Sarray and Zelina Vega, got a title run. Then Io Sky and Dakota Kai of Queendom won them, dropped them to Tegan and Piper, who dropped them at WrestleMania to Queendom's Asuka and Utami, who just won them back in a winner-take-all 6-woman tag match at Payback, which won them back the championships and made sure that the Women's World Champion retained, that being Dakota Kai. So yeah, we started with the big, long Bayley run. This one here, 324 days, was the reign we started with. She actually lost it to SummerSlam to Paige, who's come out of retirement, but then as soon as Paige won it, Sasha cashed in, took the belt. Sasha and Bayley feuded for the belt for a bit, then Sasha dropped it to Ember Moon for a month, before Sasha then won it back, faced Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 37 in the Night 1 main event. Bianca lost it to Sonya Deville, who cashed in the same night she won Money in the Bank to win the belt. Took it to SummerSlam at Wembley. Sasha won it again. Obviously, she won Queen of the Ring, hence the name. Tegan Nox then upset Sasha Banks in December to win the belt. Carried it to WrestleMania 38. Dakota Kai won her first reign there. Dropped it to Queen of the Ring winner in 2022, which was Kairi Sane. Kairi then dropped it to Bayley in December 2022. Carried it through to WrestleMania 39, the Night 1 main event against Royal Rumble winner Candice LeRae. Candice dropped to Io Sky at Evolution last year, who carried it all the way through to WrestleMania 40. And now Dakota Kai is the Women's Champion. Stables, Blonde Barbie, Tiffany Stratton, Anne-Marie Porter, who is Anna Jay, and then Mariah May. Chase U have recently re-recruited their new summer student, Duke Hudson. He joins the lineup of Andre Chase, Brody Hayward, Duke Hudson, Haley Paul, Hams Katana, and Morgan Daniels, who are 2 regens me and my friend made. Professor Keith Lee, Shameless Shane Reynolds, who is another wrestler that I know IRL, Jimmy Shane, and then Thea Hale, of course. Club Venus in this world is Mina Shirakawa, Kenzie and Kylie Page, and Victoria Shields, who is a regen worker. Mina was a part of J-Flow ever since the beginning of 2020's save. Recently has just turned heel to form Club Venus. They're currently still in a feud where, you know, they're going to start a new arc where anything you can do, I can do better. The D'Angelo family in this world is Tony D'Angelo, Rizzo, Big Problem Cass, Channing Stacks Lorenzo, Electra Mol Lopez, and Troy 2 Dimes Donovan. Death from Above is the aforementioned Pistolero, Lindsay Dorado, and Grandma League with Cynthia Crespo, who is their manager. Dragon's Dojo is Daniel Bryan, Dante Rios, Jonathan Gresham, Miles Bourne, Oni Lorcan, and Pete Dunne. Elite Street 2. Basically, my version of The Way, led by both Montez Ford and Bianca Belair, who are both heels. And their Indy Hartwell and Austin Theory are Jakara Jackson or Oro Mensah. The Gorillas of Destiny I've set up as a stable, but it's just Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa right now. House of Black in this world is Aleister Black, Brody King, Ciampa, and Kelsey Cook. Ichiban is currently Minoru Suzuki, Shinsuke Nakamura, and their lackey, Rokuru Serizawa. Meiko and Aoi are technically still in the group, but these two are on SmackDown, whereas the men are on ECW. So it's sort of become a cross-promotional thing. They did have Maika Yoko Uehara, as she's known in this game, in this stable, but we'll get to where she is now in a minute. Imperium, as you'd expect. J-Flow is now only 4 members strong after Mina left. So it's Maki, Marika, Mizuki, and Tam. The French Connection are currently MIA because they sort of got murdered by Bronson Steiner. But that's David Martin, Idris Inofe, Malik Blade, and Vialet Martin. LA Extreme, yeah, it's these 4. Conan sometimes pops in because I did buy out AAA, so occasionally Conan will be around with them, hence, you know, the name and the Dominic. The Maximum Male Models is Brooks Jensen and Pretty Deadly, and Tonya Breeze, who is Tyler Breeze's sister, not Max Dupree's, so hence she's called Tonya Breeze. The Mogul Affiliates, I actually can make them inactive, because Swerve just booted out Bronco Nemo and Lucian Price because they kept losing. But yes, it was Swerve, Bronco Nemo, and Lucian Price with Lord Bando, who is Prince Nana. My Wrestling Academia is currently just the core members of the core trio. The big 3, Saray, Manny-kun, and Dio Senpai. Saray is currently in a coma because she had to sacrifice herself to destroy the evil pendant to allow Axiom to defeat Young Sensei for the Cruiserweight Championship at WrestleMania. The other members of the group who helped them, which were Reggie and Carland and Zelina Vega. The aforementioned 2, I believe, have gone to NXT or had their contracts expire, and Zelina is over on SmackDown. Next Gen is a group of 5 regens. You know, they sort of dominate Heat. And it seems they're being paid off by Kiana James, who is the temporary Heat general manager. The Paragon is on ECW right now. It was originally Adam Cole, David and Kevin Fritz, who were the Von Erichs, and Bobby Roode. Then they recruited in JC Jane as a female member. Cesaro is sort of Adam Cole's hired gun. At WrestleMania, he beat Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler had to reluctantly join the group. And then, you know, when Bobby Roode said, hey, let's rebel and get out of here, Dolph Ziggler turned heel. Turns out he did like being a part of the Paragon, so now he's just a full-on member. And Bobby Roode is retired. Path of the Dragon is set still as Humberto and Tozawa, the team, and then Xia Li, their other member. Planet Prime is a newly formed stable. Logan Paul and KSI with the Primesaurus, who is just Luchasaurus wrestling with Prime logos all over him. And Carlito, who is basically a lackey. He is to them what he is to the Judgment Day in real life. Queendom, we'll save them to last, actually. Switchblade, F and Guns, the 3 that you'd expect it to be, Jay White and the Guns. Tekkers is another trio with CSJ and the Grizzled Young Vets. The Bloodline currently stands at Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa, and Paul Heyman. Roman and Heyman have been MIA since WrestleMania, hence Russo has now been allowed to dominate ECW. But Solo has sort of been getting glazed up by the Tongans, who aren't officially members of the Bloodline, so, who knows what's going on there. The Grand Jury has seen a lot of incarnations. It was originally Edge's Judgment Day version. It was originally Edge, the Viking Raiders, Damian Priest, and Randy Orton. Then Dolph Ziggler overtook the group. He usurped Edge. He booted Edge out. And the Vikings brought in Emerson Frost and Ken Cobain, who are Ace Austin and Chris Bay. I know he also brought in 3 female members, which were Julia, Sonya Deville, and Scarlett. And then when Dolph Ziggler left the Grand Jury, the women sort of all just dispersed. And then now it's just Damian Priest and ABC. Dolph Ziggler, of course, the first ECW World Champion of this lineage, winning at SummerSlam against Damian Priest. The Hurt Business is Bobby Lashley, MVP, Damon Kemp, and Ronnie Hughes. Again, Ronnie, a regen. The Liberators, they've got more lore. We'll get to them when I get to Queendom. The New Breed are, second generation ECW guys. It's Devon Dudley's twin sons and Hook. And they are currently, in trouble with Russo because they don't like the direction that Vince Russo's going with ECW right now. New Day, can you take a guess which 3 men are in here? Yeah. Xavier Woods is going through it right now, though, because, these 2 are former world champions, so he's made it his mission to win a world championship and become, finish that story, for lack of a better term. But he's not been able to do it. He failed to qualify for Money in the Bank. He keeps failing to beat Drew McIntyre, The Revolution, they've been away for a while because Buster Gates here, Ricky Starks, had been filming for 6 months, but he did just return on the last SmackDown of 2020, so they'll be back in the fold soon. The Royal Dynasty, Charlotte Flair and her, is basically a female legacy, second generation stars. They've just moved over to SmackDown in the draft, and they're yet to make an appearance, but we've been seeing teasers for Charlotte's return on TV, so any week now, I guess. Titus World Records, yeah, they're a fun little comedy stable, they're a record label. Titus O'Neil is a record label. Billy Kay, Elias, R-Truth, and Slim Shanky. And then whatever that is down the bottom there, I can't quite read what that says. Whatever. But yeah, Queendom, our magnum opus. Io Sky hasn't been seen since WrestleMania. The group was originally formed when Io came back last February. She suffered a major concussion, in 2022. Came back last February, turned heel on Kairi Sane. Shedded the Io Shirai name, became Io Sky with Cammy, who was a regen manager with really good stats, actually. So yeah. So she was Io's translator, led Io to the Women's Championship against Candice LeRae at Evolution last year. And then at SummerSlam, we had our first and so far only 100 rated match of the save between Io and Asuka for the Women's World title, which is when Utami Hayashishita, who'd been, lost since losing to Candice back in May, turned heel and joined Io and Cammy in the group. Cammy had also handpicked out Tegan Nox and Piper Niven to join the group, so the original Queendom quartet was Io, Utami, Tegan, and Piper. They'd made enemies of the entire SmackDown Women's division, mainly Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae, but also Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Florence, who was on SmackDown at that time. And then Florence cashed in against Io ahead of War Games, which is when Julia appeared as the not the 5th member of Queendom, but the 5th member of their War Games team. Screwed Florence in that match, so Io retained the belt, and then they got the War Games advantage. And then in War Games, Dakota Kai shocked the world, turning heel, seemingly joining Queendom. And then as the months went on, she started treating Tegan Nox like shit, because obviously they've got a lot of history together. Eventually, Tegan did leave the group to a big babyface pop for Io at the Royal Rumble, where Piper Niven was also torn. She turned and sided with Tegan, which led to the babyface duo of Tegan Nox and Piper Niven against Io and Dakota for the tag titles. Piper and Tegan won them after Dakota Kai accidentally kicked Io in the face at Elimination Chamber. And then, after winning a gauntlet to win a shot at WrestleMania, it was revealed it was all a ruse and that Dakota Kai had been infiltrating Queendom to tear them down from the inside. And then she kicked Io in the face, went on to WrestleMania, won her title. And since WrestleMania, we haven't seen Io around. It's just been Cammy and Utami. Before WrestleMania, they recruited Asuka as a way to combat Tegan to Piper and Dakota and Candice. And then that led to Payback, where it was Dakota Kai's Women's World Championship and Asuka and Utami's tag titles. Julia came over from ECW in the draft. She was officially anointed a new member of Queendom, but it was the babyface trio who won. And then Yoko Uehara has joined Queendom now. Utami's got Money in the Bank, and Io is still MIA. And then obviously the Liberators is, our 4 heroes who, saw the light and betrayed and ended the rule of Queendom. That's probably about it. Our roster. Let's go through our major stars and shit. Adam Cole, I've been over the Paragon already. AJ sort of part-time now. Her last match was her and Punk teaming against Seth Rollins and AJ Lee. Or Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, at Vengeance. Becky Lynch is currently going through a weird crisis. For lack of a better term, she's losing her mind. Bronson Steiner is currently suspended. He was causing an absolute havoc backstage on Raw. Batista, the Raw General Manager, suspended him. And then once he was suspended, he put Batista in hospital, and we've seen neither man since. Charlotte, as I've said, not really around right now. CM Punk returned at the Royal Rumble, which was in Chicago in this save. Been feuding with Seth Rollins basically exclusively up until the end of May, when he had a match with Chad Gable on Raw. He beat Gable clean. Gable turned heel, and then had a rematch with Punk at Clash at the Castle. He cheated to beat him there, broke his ankle, and CM Punk has been seen for a month. Gunther, former world champion, leading of Imperium, he won this year's Royal Rumble, went on to WrestleMania, lost to Cody Rhodes in the main event of Night 1, then again wasn't on TV until Clash at the Castle, where he returned after a Seth Rollins Cody Rhodes main event, laid both men out. They had a triple threat match at Money in the Bank. Cody pinned Seth to retain. So he's still going to have a gripe and want a shot at that WWE Championship. LA Knight, former World Heavyweight Champion, has sort of just been existing on Raw right now. Recently got involved in business with the Intercontinental Champion Jay White. Logan Paul, World Tag Team Champion, Montez Ford. Since moving to Raw, hasn't really done a lot. He was in Tag Team Money in the Bank with Ora Mensa. But yeah. Rhea Ripley, Liberty Champion still. Roman Reigns, absent. Seth Rollins, again in the mix of Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. And Borden, who is currently on ECW. Vince Russo originally handpicked him as the guy he wanted to build this new era of extremely cool wrestling around. Turns out he doesn't like Russo because Russo picked Austin Theory instead. He hates the Bloodline, he hates Russo. He sort of just hates everybody right now. Our stars, Aleister Black, he's in the House of Black. They're doing House of Black things. Asuka, Queendom member. Bayley, Women's Champion. Has a match set where she's going to team with Cora Jade against Roxy Perez and Alexa Bliss. Set for the first episode of TEW9. Actually, is it even the first episode? Because, it's the 1st of July. Oh, yeah. The 1st of July was a Monday. Yeah. So this is actually the perfect month to start in because, fine. Bianca Belair, currently feuding with Bayley. Just had a cage match with her at Money in the Bank. Big E, sort of just doing New Day tag stuff while Xavier Woods goes for the world title. And Bobby Lashley just come off a World Championship picture story. Triple threat match. It was him, Daniel Bryan, and Swerve at the pay-per-view. Braun, ECW Tag Team Champion. Candice LeRae, former Women's Champion, former Royal Rumble winner. Established main eventer of the Women's Division. And has just recently, she's the only member of the Liberators not a champion, so she's taken aim at Rhea Ripley's title. Cesaro, hired gun of the Paragon. Chad Gable, Mr. Money in the Bank, just beat CM Punk. Cody Rhodes, WWE Champion. Dakota Kai, Women's World Champion. Daniel Bryan, Tag Team Champion. Dijak, dropped the IC title at WrestleMania. Christian, who lost to Edge at WrestleMania in Edge's retirement match. And then we've sort of been... He's been treated a bit shit by Christian in recent weeks, we've noticed, but he has been reluctantly still doing his business. Dominic Mysterio is having a bad run of things. He recently lost his fake girlfriend, Stephanie Vaquer. He lost his shot to be Money in the Bank. He lost his IC title. He lost his chance to get a rematch for that belt. So yeah, he's a little bit lost right now. He needs a new father figure, some could say. Dolph Ziggler, member of the Paragon, suddenly likes it in there. Dudley Davis, not really doing a whole lot right now. Doesn't really fit the Russo era of ECW, but he's still around. Florence, Women's World Champion over on ECW. Imperium member Giovanni Vinci just came back. Julia, former ECW Women's Champion, Queendom member. EO, MIA. Jacob Fatu, he's actually a solo babyface on SmackDown. He's had his bloodline involvements. I've had him side since 2020. But yeah, he's just sort of vibing as a babyface mid-card big man on SmackDown. Jade Cargill, we haven't seen her since WrestleMania. Jay White, IC Champion. Jay Uso, ECW World Champion, feuding with Austin Theory and Warden. Jimmy Uso just returned as a part of Money in the Bank after he was taken out by Warden after he attempted to reconcile with Jay. Kevin Owens currently fired by Vince Russo. Him, Sheamus, Rey Mysterio, and Kyle O'Reilly are all fired for rebelling against the new shitty era of ECW that Russo intended to bring in. Kofi Kingston, New Day staff. Kyle O'Reilly, aforementioned Kevin Owens, he's also the God, because he was scoring really good ratings, so I just made him the God. So he's the God. Mustafa Ali, former tag team champion, has actually a Grand Slam champion in this world, but yeah, he's recently becoming a bit of a dickhead. Neville, US champion. Pete Dunne, WWE tag team champion. Randy Orton, vibin, recently formed an alliance with Ilya Dragunov on SmackDown called Shah KO. Ronnie Hughes, member of the Hurt Business, former ECW tag team champion. Regen. Sasha Banks, moved over to ECW, has just started an issue with Liv Morgan over there. Shinsuke, not doing a whole lot, if I'm honest. Swerve, World Heavyweight Champion. Utami, Miss Money in the Bank, Queendom member. Temporary de facto leader of Queendom while Io's away. Xavier Woods, the one New Day member with a purpose. You know, Kofi and Biggie are sort of like standing by his side, supporting him because that's what they do, because they're kings. But yeah, Woods is on a quest to try and become the final world champion of the New Day. Well known, I guess. Let's do some of these. AJ Styles, literally on the last Raw of 2020, we did the fake retirement angle. Him and Finn Balor had been losing tag matches every week. And then he was like, time to say my goodbyes. Turned on Finn, so he's now a heel. And he'll actually be opening up the first episode of Raw of TW9. Tozawa, still out for a little bit longer with a brain tumour. Alba Fire, been trying to break through on ECW, got the shot against Florence at Clash at the Castle. Still in a tag team with Isla Dawn, or as she's called in the save, Iona Webb. Alexa Bliss, babyface on Raw. Former dickhead general manager turned redemption arc babyface over on Raw. She's sort of like the mother to Roxy Perez over there right now. Aaliyah, the girlfriend of Grayson Waller, which is actually a thing in the game. Yeah. So yeah, I put them together on screen. Andrade, babyface member of a tag team of Angel Garza. Zelina Vega recently returned to SmackDown, so now they're a babyface unit over there. See Andrade. Angelo Dawkins, new gimmick called The Birth of Greatness. He'd been away for a while after, sort of floundering after Montez Ford flew after the breakup of the Street Profits. He's currently in a feud with Carmelo Hayes. Amory Porter, the third member of the Blonde Barbies. Tiffany Stratton had instructed Mariah May to go find a partner. That partner was Anne-Marie. It started off a bit shaky, but they're starting to find their groove right now. Aoi Maikawa of Ichiban, was feuding with Queendom in Queendom's downtime from the World Title picture because her and Meiko lost their friend Yoko Uehara to Queendom. Ashante the Adonis, the God's Adonis Truth, just sort of a mid-card heel over on ECW. He's fun. Austin Theory only just came back at One Night Stand after 3 years away. He's Vince Russo's chosen guy, the finished article, they call him. Axiom, Cruiserweight Champion, just defended the belt in a 6-way high wires match, which is basically Ultimate X. Baron Corbin, I guess, just turned babyface against Grayson Waller. They have a match set for next week's SmackDown show. Blair Davenport, the friend of Florence, the ECW Women's Champion. Bobby Roode, he's retired. Brody King of the House of Black. Bronson Reed's in the Cyclone. They're feuding with the Creed brothers right now. Brutus Creed. Heels with William Regal. They just turned heel. William Regal's their manager. Yeah. Buddy Murphy, the former WWE champion. Trying to find his feet again on Raw. He's currently aligned with Wes Lee. They beat Christian and Dijak on the pre-show Money in the Bank. Buster Gates, he's on his way back after filming. Carmella, she's the tag team partner of Shayna Baszler in a team called The Fierce and the Fabulous. Carmelo Hayes, former World Heavyweight Champion. did have Omos as his bodyguard, but Omos is doing other stuff now, so I guess he's a single star. Again, feuding with Angelo Dawkins right now. Cedric Alexander, the tag partner of Mustafa Ali. Ali's been a bit of a dickhead. We haven't seen Cedric since Clash of the Castle because apparently Mustafa Ali said that he'd left Cedric Alexander in Scotland to think about what he did wrong. And what he did wrong was nothing because it was all Ali's fault. But yeah, Cedric is the babyface tag team partner to Mustafa Ali. Ciampa, he was a member of DIY with Gargano. And the House of Black came to corrupt Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Ciampa sort of sacrificed himself to the House of Black to save Johnny. Johnny then fled over to SmackDown, and now Ciampa has been corrupted fully by the House of Black. Cora Jade, been hanging around Bayley. She originally came up onto the main roster as a babyface Bayley superfan. And then eventually when Bayley turned heel, Cora turned heel with her. And then, Bayley's now a babyface. Cora, we thought, was still a heel, but she's sort of like lingering around Bayley and like helping Bayley against her will. She helped Bayley retain against Bianca Belair at Clash of the Castle, hitting Bianca with the belt behind both the referee and Bayley's backs, which led to the steel cage match behind the back. Damian Priest is a member of the grand jury. He's been picking up wins over Xavier Woods recently, so it's a bit of an obstacle for him. But other than that, not really doing a whole lot of interesting stuff right now. Damon Kemp's in the Hurt Business, Dante Rios is in the Dragon's Dojo, David's in the Paragon, Dio Senpai is in the anime group. The full-on anime arc has sort of finished now. They're sort of like more just wrestlers again. They recently just tried to, feud with Christian and Dijak, for moral justice, I guess. Because Saray is currently still in a coma in the hospital. Elias is a member of Titus World Records. Owen Prince is pretty deadly. Amazon Frost, Finn Balor, again, just been betrayed by AJ Styles. Gigi Dolan is pregnant, so she's not going to be around for a while. Grayson Waller, he's Grayson Waller. Aaliyah is his girlfriend, yeah. Shida, a heel, she was feuding with Liv Morgan. They had a match at WrestleMania, just blew it off in a kendo stick on a pole match at ECW One Night Stand, and she's not done a whole lot since. Humberto, currently a singles guy, feuding with Logan Paul, I guess. And the Prime Saurus trying to, get into the head of his old friend and say, hey, why the fuck are you sponsored by Prime, That's not you. Ilya Dragunov, currently in a tag team with Randy Orton. Ivy Nile, singles babyface over on ECW, not really doing a whole lot. JC Jane, Paragon member. Jagger Reed is Jagger Reed. Joe Hendry, ECW World Tag Team Champion with Braun Strowman. Gargano, sort of a mid-card babyface on SmackDown. He sort of lingers around Candice LeRae, because Candice is actually low-key the star of the two. Jorge Santana, member of LA Extreme. Julius Creed, C. Brutus. Kairi Sane, just returned over to SmackDown in the draft. She left SmackDown last year when EO beat her in a loser-leave SmackDown match. And she tried to, re-establish herself as a single star, lost, and then was laughed at by Cammy and Queendom. So she joined forces with Raquel and Ichiban for a while to try and take Queendom down, and they lost recently, so Karrion Kross, he's an emo, he's an edgelord, he's Cold Steel, bringer of death. Nothing personal, kid. Keith Lee of Chase U, he's the I guess the, what the fuck is the word? Professor Lee, yeah. Kelsey Cook just got corrupted by the House of Black, so she's now where she belongs. Who else is new? Killer Kelly, she's the tag team partner of Lyra Valkyria. Becky attempted to get Lyra to join her, and then Lyra suffered an injury, so now Killer Kelly's feuding with Becky Lynch. Liv Morgan, babyface on ECW, currently feuding with Sasha Banks. Again, Lyra's injured. Naomi, she's a tag team partner of Ashante Washington, who is Willow Nightingale. Nova Nebula is pregnant. Omos is Mr. Tall and Sexy. He's a fragrance connoisseur. He loves fragrances, and he's currently, in the process of trying to recruit Otis as his right-hand man in being tall and sexy. Orange Cassidy, he's Orange Cassidy. AEW let him go, so I signed him. Yeah, he does Orange Cassidy things. He teamed with Carlito in a team called Apples and Oranges. Carlito betrayed him during their title match against Logan Paul and KSI because he loved Prime and wanted to be in Logan Paul's good graces. Raquel, sort of a babyface enforcer on SmackDown. She doesn't like Queendom for whatever reason. There's a reason for it, you can probably guess, but it hasn't actually been established on the show just yet. Rey Mysterio is fired along with Kevin Owens, Sheamus, and Kyle O'Reilly. Ricochet is a part of the Cyclone with Bronson Reed feuding with the Creed brothers. Roxy Perez has sort of been in Bayley's ear, warning her about Cora Jade, saying Cora Jade doesn't care about her, she only cares about the title. And yeah, she's teaming with Alexa Bliss against Cora and Bayley on Raw. Who else we got? Ruby Riott is a split personality gimmick. Her whole thing is, she puts on a happy face, like a party sort of like happy-go-lucky face. But then when the bell rings, she like sadistically beats people up, does it with a big smile on her face. Like that's a sick and twisted, happy sort of like split personality. Sami Zayn is our top babyface on SmackDown. He recently challenged and failed to beat Swerve for the world title, and then he was like, hey, I'm gonna go for the US title, I've never won that. And then Neville beat him in his hometown, and Sami looked defeated after that, so who knows where his career is going after that. Shayna Baszler, partner of Carmella. Sheamus fired, Solo, TV champion. Like, currently the only member of the Bloodline on TV, but the Tongans are sort of trying to gas him up. Sonya Deville, former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion, hasn't done a whole lot for a whole long time. I do want to find something for her to do soon. Tatum Paxley is the friend / creepy stalker of Rhea Ripley. Sort of what she was to Lyra IRL mixed with what Dominic is to Rhea IRL, and that's what Tatum Paxley is. The Miz, he's the Miz, Tiffany Stratton won the Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania. Top Dollar is currently bottom dollar. His gimmick is that he's got terrible luck. He wasn't drafted in the draft. He's currently a free agent. He's doing the Heath Slater free agent gimmick mixed with bum-ass Corbin, basically. For lack of a better term. Trick Williams, nice little babyface on Raw. Recently sniffed around the IC title. Beat Carmelo Hayes in their feud, Tyler Breeze, deranged Prince Pretty. He's still his deranged self that he has been for a couple of years in the save, but he's mixing that with Prince Pretty a little bit. So he's like a combination of, the Tyler Breeze and some borderline like Joker obsessed character. Wes Lee, he's a babyface on Raw. He's recently been aligned with Buddy Murphy against Christian and Dijak. Yoko Uehara of Queendom, Zelina Vega, babyface on SmackDown, managing Andrade and Angel Garza. CSJ hasn't really done a whole lot on ECW since losing the TV title, if I'm honest, but he's there. Got Chase U, Anya Gogo with Shaq Gable's right-hand man. They're Charlotte's girls. Who else is important here? Cameron Grimes is in the tag team with Jeff Jarrett, and they seem to want in on Prime stocks as well. Chelsea Green is Matt Cardona's husband, obviously, or wife even. Dexter Lumis we haven't seen since he helped Chase U at WrestleMania keep a hold of the university in a feud with the D'Angelo family. Drake Chambers and Nathan Kelly are two regens forming a tag team called the Labyrinth. They are basically Nathan Drake if he was a tag team of professional wrestlers. Fallon Henley, managed by Mickie James. She's still a babyface in this world. That's pretty much what there is to her. Goldust is around when I need him to do Cody Rhodes related stuff. Indy Hartwell is a tag team with Persia Pirotta, who's just gone pregnant, so Indy's got nothing really to do right now. Joe Gacy is sort of a weirdo. He's sort of like a late stage NXT Joe Gacy. He's so out of place on this version of ECW, but he's popping up and getting beaten by like guys like Karrion Kross, so it's fine. Kim McQueen is on We're Building Up on ECW right now. She just tasted her first defeat. She challenged Rhea Ripley for the Liberty Championship at Money in the Bank. Came up short, but put in a great performance. Who else have we not got? Matt Cardona, we've been over. Nathan Fraser is in prison for 2 years. Odyssey Jones, sort of just a mid-card babyface on Raw, has sort of beef with the Tony D'Angelo family right now. Ashante Washington, the partner of Naomi. Shotzi Blackheart, the on and off again partner of Scarlett on ECW. Sol Ruca, tag team partner of Zoe Stark in a fun / boring tag team dynamic. She's basically the Montez Ford to Zoe's Angelo Dawkins. Stephanie Vaquer just left LA Extreme. She's now, on her own as a babyface on Raw. She hasn't really had time to really find her feet in that role yet, though. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are... They helped get Vince Russo in power in ECW once Heyman wasn't around. We don't know why. There was an ulterior motive behind it. But, they seem to have an invested interest in keeping Russo in power. And, they sort of boss him about. And that's it for recognize any unknowns that I haven't really gone over in anyone else yet. Anthony Nese, he used to run the Nese business, which changed the face of Cruiserweight Wrestling. He's actually the one that Dominic Mysterio turned on his dad for. But yeah, he's just a nice little fun jobber I've got on my roster now. We loved Anthony Nese around these parts. Austin and Colton Gunn, of course. Brad Sawyer is Mark Davis. Kylan Rogers is Kyle Fletcher. Aussie Open, sort of heel tag team on SmackDown. Haven't really done a whole lot yet. Kurt Hawkins is, of course, the partner with Matt Cardona. Pressure Prot is pregnant. And I think that's about it. Anyone we haven't been over yet. Tomoyuki Oka sort of pops up every now and again to job. Because he's coming, He's the great Okan. Of course, I've got stuff for him. Don't know why Trent Seven's up here. And yeah, Zion Quinn, I guess, is the last one. He's the Big X. He's basically our version of Andrew Tate. Instead of the top G, he's the Big X. But yeah, that's the roster. Obviously, if you want more in depth, you can go watch some of the old videos or episode 500. But yes, moving on to what you're all here for. At least those of you that have been around for an extended period of time. Is this the goals for the challenge run? So, what's actually funny is my other thingy-mabobby punishment that I haven't done yet was non-wrestling related celebrity feud with a top star. Celebrities are actually in the game now, like as celebrities. So that will be an easy one to take off now, because I'm sure somebody will make a celebrity mod pack for this that I can just import. But yeah, Push Kushida, he's down in NXT Japan right now, so his push is still going on. Tam, singles push. She sort of had big singles matches, but hasn't really got that single, the same way that Mina has. Like, Mina left J-Flow and got the big singles push. Like, Tam hasn't got that yet. Wes Lee, Midcard Champion. I've considered it at some point, so I guess stay tuned for that. Ricochet singles push. I like the I probably won't break the Cyclone up because I like having them there. But Ricochet could definitely do some more single stuff. Absolutely. Buddy Bloody Murphy, former WWE champion, get him back to where he came from, I guess. He's been focused a little bit more on Raw recently. Sol Ruca, she's working her way up nice and slowly. 80 pop by 2026 for Odyssey Jones. What's Odyssey Jones' pop looking at right now? 50. Okay, so he's actually not doing too bad. Next big things. Right. This will actually have changed now because I've started. This is technically a new game, so the potential stat will be randomized again. Pay no attention to the 4 names you see on your screen here. Like, this may be what the actual challenge fund list looks like, but this isn't the actual final version of the database I'm going to use for the actual save, and it will be different every single time. But yeah, so whoever's on there, I think on the last game it was just Mackie and I guess Nathan Kelly, because it was one of the Labyrinth guys. And yeah, Mackie's always a feature, and the Labyrinth are like a pet project of mine. Adam Cole, I could remove this. I could, because he has been pushed recently. Actually, fuck it, because I can see another goal down there that I can tick off at a later point as well. So yeah, I'll take that one off. Joe Hendry push, obviously he's been pushed. Gun Club, I won't really. They've just been lackeys for Switch so far, so I won't really cross that off. Luca Crusifino still in NXT. Bronson Steiner is a major star. I believe you just saw that when I went over the roster. But he's definitely a major star. And I'll go back there to double check right now. Yeah. That's his pop. He's considered a major star. Javon Evans has had a couple of matches on Velocity recently. He's still trying to get popularity over there. Pretty Deadly just won Money in the Bank. So, yeah. Kelsey Cook, I won't cross her off just yet, but she's just joined House of Black. She was in Money in the Bank, but didn't win it. Joe Gacy, he's on ECW doing stuff, but I haven't really called it a push right now. Ashante the Adonis. I mean, I've pushed him a little. He's the God's Honest Truth. He'll be in good hands. He's a fun pet project of mine. because I like the nickname God's Adonis Truth. Mina solo run, she's currently on that. Hook, push. I'll leave it on there for now, but again, he's a part of the Russo story. AI generated tag team champions. I actually don't think I've done that yet, so I'll keep it on the board. John Cena, Intercontinental Champion. I'm sure things that just happen in real life will influence that one. No one star above can win the mid-card title unless a goal state, so that's just, eternal. Haven't done any 24/7 title goals in a long time. I actually am thinking of a story to bring it back. Xavier Woods, World Champion. Io Shirai, Male Championship. Ugh. Like, it's just something that I don't really want to... Even though it's Io, but, like, I still don't really want to do it, but I guess I'll have to at some point. Pharoah, 24/7 Champion. Again, 24/7 Champion stuff. It's coming back. Like, don't worry. Ludwig, Intercontinental Champion. Sure. I'll keep it on there. Hasn't happened yet. Year-long championship reign. Okay. Random title gets redesigned during an angle. I mean, technically I have done that. Because Daniel Bryan smashed up the SmackDown tag titles when I brought in the WWE tag titles. Yeah, so sure. Major Star and Unimportant tag team champions. No, I haven't. I was gonna say, was Logan Paul and I think KSI was unimportant when they won the belts, but I don't think Logan Paul was a major star when that happened. Fan debuts, wins title, hasn't happened yet. $1 Million Championship given to a woman, hasn't happened yet. Champion with 20 defenses, sure. Released wrestler to re-sign and be a world champion. I've actually got a number of options for that. Austin Theory is the first one that comes to mind. Matt Cardona, Internet Champion, yeah, he is that right now. I am the tag team champions angle. Well, the angle I was doing that with got completely thrown up in the air, but I'll leave it on the board. Regen World Champion. So that's on there, so like, I always get iffy about regens if people like them or not, but since that's on there, I guess you do. Joe Hendry's got a championship. Wrestler over 50 gets a title run. That will go hand in hand with one I see down here. Mackie, Women's Champion, hasn't won that yet. Wrestler wins the secondary title after less than 5 matches. I know when and where that's happening. Stable holds all the gold angle. I'm sure some of you probably thought Queendom were going to do that in the winner-take-all match, but no. Idris and Malik, Tag Champions. Adam Cole, World Champion by 2026. Chad Gable, World Champion. Bobby Lashley, World Champion by WrestleMania 41. Sure. Planet Jarrett, Tag Team Champions, and the Grizzled Young Veterans, ECW Tag Team Champions. Sure. Miscellaneous goals. John Cena / Styles or Lesnar to retire at Mania. Well, I'm not using Brock right now. Cena's retiring in December next year, so I guess that just leaves AJ. Legacy gimmick. Someone passes on their gimmick. Henry didn't pass it on to Omos, so I'm not going to count that. Sure, I'll keep it on the board. Change 5 randomized wrestlers finishes. I've done like 1. Cody Rhodes has a vertebraker now. Differentiate Raw and SmackDown. I'm going to tick this off because A, I think I've done it, and B, it's just something that I'm going to continue to do going forward. Debut wrestler on a losing streak. Haven't done that yet. Complete rebrand of an established star. No, I don't believe I've done that. A stable with 20 members. At some point, I'm sure it will. Chase U will end up getting that way, I'm sure. A glam rock faction was tied to the aforementioned story that got cancelled, but, I'm still, rethinking it all. Start a hardcore division. I'm sure I can do that on ECW once Russo loses power. Double turn. Always possible whenever. Sign any Nightmare Factory grads when available. Sure. A gimmick based on a video game character. Yeah, that's what the Labyrinth are. Logan Paul faction. Yeah, it's just started. Cruiserweight Championship main event to pay-per-view. Hasn't happened yet. Raven gets a new flock. Hasn't happened yet. New owner of Mankind's Mask. Hasn't happened yet. Baron Corbin to main event at pay-per-view by 2025. Hasn't happened yet. A celebrity joins a stable. I mean, technically, yeah, Logan Paul and KSI are in a stable. And also Bad Bunny was in the LWO for a bit. Continue Bray Wyatt's legacy. A man joins Queendom. Hasn't happened yet. WWE Speed Championship, division, and title. It's coming. That's what the... In case you couldn't work it out, that's what the speed teasers on Velocity have been about. B team for a stable. Low-key, Chase, you're already forming that. But I'll leave it on the board for now. Sponsored match on a sponsored pay-per-view. Somebody sponsor me. Somebody sponsor me. New regen debuts by Survivor Series. I did that. Victoria Shields and the Labyrinth and Danger Zone have all debuted now. More brand supremacy. Opposites tag team. I can do that, but I haven't done it yet technically. Hire 2 bloodline relatives feud with the Mysterios. Love triangle. Wrestling wedding. I want to do more like love angles and shit like that because I think they're fun. So yeah, I guess that'll be a thing going forward. Who Done It? Again, another one that's just fun. Several wrestlers part of a kayfabe family. I guess I technically do that with the French people, but sure, I'll leave it on the board. A suing/court case. Us versus them is happening right now with the Russo stuff. A feud over a burrito. Bloodline honorary use. A feud over a hat. A wrestler keeps losing and gets a new identity. Christian feuds with dead fathers. Yeah, I've done that. Full member of Imperium. Kayla Braxton involved in a storyline. It's starting. Adam Pearce or Nick Aldis return to the ring. Hasn't happened yet. A wrestler well known or higher feuds with a fictional character. Hasn't happened yet. Vince Russo booking for ECW. Romance angles / unexpected love. Sure. Major star has a super fan. Technically, that's what Rhea and Pax are. But I'll leave it off for now. Logan Paul versus Matt Cardona. Hasn't happened yet. Queendom versus the Royal Dynasty. Oh, the wording of those Charlotte Flair return vignettes seems to be very, very, very weird. Thea Hale has a rebel phase. It's coming, Colin, don't worry. Book Mask versus Mask match. Hasn't happened yet. Book a tag team match where 2 members turn on their partner in a line. Give me, like, 1 more episode. Cinematic match in a water park. Hasn't happened yet. Pitbull. You know, I should look at these more often because I feel like, while I am still enjoying what I'm doing, I feel like I'm hit a groove of actually doing unironically good stuff. That's not me. I want to do some more silly shit. And, like, this gets my creative juices flowing. Why have I not done a match in a water park yet? Why has Pitbull not wrestled yet? Why have I not done a forklift match yet? I know I haven't done Thea Hale beats a male wrestler yet. Colin, sorry. Cinematic match at Chuck E. Cheese, haven't done yet. Fight Pit, haven't done yet. I did an All X match. Haven't done Feast or Fired. Haven't done Iron Survivor Challenge. Wrestlers haven't had a football match. Pole match, bro. I haven't done a Prime on a pole, but I've done a pole match. Tag Team Money in the Bank, I did. A big faction ladder match, haven't done. I haven't done a big handicap match yet either. How many of these have I done? I technically didn't do the X Factor style show, but Chase, you aren't done recruiting yet. Lucha Libre Fiend pay-per-view, everything is pay-per-view in Mexico. That's coming. I'm doing 2 of them, so I can cross that off now. ECW ran the Hammerstein Ballroom. Sure, they can all stay. I didn't fail any. Nice. There's some that I can still do. Or like, yeah, but I didn't outright fail any, so I haven't got to do a punishment this time round. But yes, so now if you are new here, this is where you leave. Your challenges in the comments. You've seen how I lay them out. You've got push, you know, any wrestlers you want me to push. I'm trying to stay away from now, you know, make so-and-so world champion. Because I just think, like, that's a bit boring. Like, cause if it makes the series predictable. Like, if I push somebody and they get over, then they'll become the world champion. Like, that's how it works. But, like, I've had enough silly world champions now where I'm like, don't just specify become a world champion. Because that's sort of, like, uncreative. Midcard title, I think, is fine. But again, don't do too many of those because I'm less likely to take them if you specifically say, make them a champion. Because again, I won't take every single challenge because obviously there's a lot of you. I'll try and take at least 1 from every person though, and if there's 1, I don't know why I say this because now you're all going to team up and make a stupid one, but if there's 1 that I see in like multiple comments, then I'll definitely take it. But yeah, championship goals is where you put your championship goals. Again, I'm trying to steer away from world champion. Like, you can, as long as you like, it's within reason. Like, don't say like, oh, make Shanky world champion before the end of the year, because like I won't do that. And if there's, like, more unique championship goals, like, you've got John Cena winning the IC title, he's not done that. You know, you've got, like... Yeah. You can see the sort of goals I'm looking at here. You know, yeah. Missed goals are, like, low-key the best. They're, like, storylines. Or, like, yeah. Angles and shit. Things that will happen. You know, start a hardcore division, double turn. Stuff like that. Storyline goals are the funny storyline angles you want me to do. Match goals are specific matches you want me to do. Themed shows, I did a terrible job of keeping track of this season, but I guess next season will be full of these. They're low-key the funniest, because, you know, they're different. They vary television up a lot. So, yeah, now you've seen and, of course, punishments. Leave punishments for me for if I fail any of them. You didn't see any in this video, because I didn't fail any. But, yeah. So, yeah, please try and be nice. I'm sure if you want some TEW9 specific goals, like, for example, a punishment can be to make, like, somebody that's terrible, like my locker room leaders, like make my locker room leaders be Bodie Hayward and shit like that. That's sort of punishment I'd leave. But yeah, you know, most of you know how this works by now, and if you don't, read the comments, I'm sure they'll fill you in. But yeah, that's it for today. Yeah, I'll see you next time. We're actually in July with our new goals refreshed for, I guess, Season 10, technically. Even though technically Season 9 continues. This is technically a mid-season break. Sure. This is like when Prime releases the first 3 episodes of The Boys and you've got to wait, like, for the next ones. That's sort of what's happening here. But yes, I'll see you next time for Raw. See you then.